Why did you choose to keep the last name?
Cause I paid for this name in blood, sweat, and tears. Literally. Literally. Like after watching What's Love Got to Do with It, I was in the midst of it and coming out of it, and I understood why she said you can have everything, but I'm keeping this name. Nobody knows what it's like to be me. And at the end of the day, it's very odd to me that we live in a society. You crucify me for having the last name, but you would not be on my social media and care who I was if I didn't have the last name. So I just let people know real early out the gate, you shouldn't care why I kept the last name. You should be concerned about what I'm doing with the last name. Because I have this last name, 2020 comes and follows me for a day. I've been on CNN. I've been on the platforms. I've been able to speak in Anguilla and on military bases talking about domestic violence awareness and sex trafficking awareness because of the last name. So let's not be concerned about why. We should be applauding what I'm doing with it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out here with last names, and y'all are promoting complete bullshit in our community.
Yeah. So you go from falling in love with this man to one of the things I read is, he hog-tied you.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, this is for me mind blowing. Anytime you hear anybody's story, any woman's story for me, but the way you told the story, it seemed as if he hogtied you. You were on the side of the bed, and he went to sleep in
He
the
fell
bed.
asleep. He fell asleep.
And how
Yeah.
many hours were you tied up?
I don't even know. I just remember being like, all right, think. You are a dancer. You're flexible. What can you do? I know I can get my feet as close to my head as possible. Like, literally, it felt like a scene out of the movies where they kidnap somebody and throw them in the back of the van, and then they cut to the scene where the person just been there for hours, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, so either I'm going to figure out how to get out of this, or when he wakes up, I don't know what monster. I don't know if I'm getting the teddy bear or the grizzly bear when he wakes up. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm getting out of this. It was crazy. Like if there was social media back then, that would have been a mess. Like
Wow.
literally me escaping, running out the house, running down the street, in the park, hopping the fence, and he's chasing me.
So wait a minute. After he wakes up,
Yeah. So our bedroom had an automatic lock on it. And that's another thing that people are like, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? And I'm like, you have no idea the fortress I lived in. Okay. That's number one. So the door had an automatic lock, and it was like one of the magnetic locks. So when you lock the door, in order to get out, you have to push a button, and it makes this click noise that makes a bell go off. So I'm like, even when I get out of this, I gotta push that damn button, and that, oh, okay, how do you, so I had to be lightning quick, like push it, open the door, click. That's what woke him up.
so
I'm
you woke
running,
him up because you eventually got out.
yes, running down the stairs. So I'm like, shit, I gotta get down all these stairs to the front door. I'm like, there's no time to grab a purse, there's no time to grab shoes, there's no time to do anything. I got about 10 seconds to get from that third floor down to the first floor to get to the door and out the door. I was like, okay, here we go. And me and him running down the damn street looking stupid. Yes.
Before social media.
Before social media, thank God. Because I could only imagine right now the headlines: R. Kelly and wife running down the street, she's screaming and hollering barefoot.
Because he always kept a very tight veil around him that you couldn't really, almost impenetrable, so to
Yeah.
speak. And so this happens. What was it like when he caught up to you? What transpires at that point?
Immediate, you're thinking I'm gonna die.
So
That's your first
what's
thought.
he saying to you when, like, how did that play out? He catches up to you running on foot. He finally catches up to you. So
Yes.
he ain't stopped.
No. No. I'm thinking, okay, we out in public. He ain't gonna act a fool out here because there's people watching. Ha! Was I wrong? But again, it's all in the book.
Jay, this is gonna be one hell of a book.
You know, I've been on the fence about the book too.
Well, I mean, if I may, and I say this to you because, I mean, we've talked before, but kind of hearing you now, I understand your therapy, right? For instance, I felt like reading Jada's book, or not reading it, but just understanding the excerpts and things of that nature, it seemed ill-timed and, almost ill-advised considering what had happened with Will and Chris Rock.
Right,
And so
right.
it it changes the lens, and you can't. One thing we don't have control over is the public. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, telling your truth is your truth,
Yeah.
and no matter what, it is what it is. So, you know, I respect that, I understand that, and I think that when you've gone through trauma, that's the thing. As Black people, we don't oftentimes get a chance to express ourselves. We're always told to keep going, just move forward.
And we need to be honest with ourselves. We are a very judgmental culture.
Yes, we are.
We are. And I get it. Like being after doing the work and the healing and just years and years of counseling and going in and shadow work and dealing with little me and big me. I get it. I get why his super fans feel the way they do. We don't have a lot of icons. And the ones that we do, they suppress our history so that let me take that back. We do have a lot of icons. We're just not taught about them. So when we get that one that made it out, it feels like we're rooting for ourselves. We feel like we're rooting for our uncle. We're rooting for our dad. We're rooting for our son. So we feel like protect them at all costs. But then when do we start to protect the Black woman at all costs? And I think to heal the Black man, unfortunately, you got to pull his coattail. You have to be that one person that's going to be like, so we going to all sit around and act like this is okay? Because you has a lot of yes men. And like you said, it wasn't just me and my ex. People have to realize at the time that it's me, my ex, Jive Records, Sony Records, promoters, concert goers, people that sell. They don't understand the domino effect of how many people make money off this one man. All the way down to the guy who has a valet service at the arenas where he's doing concerts. Everybody's connected to that. So I'm going up against all of them. I had a restraining order. I had an order of protection way before there was social media. So a lot of people were like, why is she just coming out now? I came out years ago. Y'all chose to ignore it. You can go Google it right now. You can Google the episode of MTV News when they used to do it, when they pulled up my order of protection. People just chose to ignore it.
Because
so
of
this
who he
isn't
was.
me. Yeah, because of who he was. So this isn't Drea just coming out of the woodworks one day. It's like, but I've been screaming to the top of my lungs, and Jive Records is the one who put out a statement on my behalf. I was like, so that's what we're doing? Really?
So when that first tape came to light of the underage girl, what was it like for you being in a relationship with him at that time?
Ooh, the cover up and the lies and what people don't understand too. It's in my book. I almost lost my son over that. I was pregnant at the time. Went into premature labor because of it. Middle of the night, again, it's in my book. I just get, let's go, we leaving. What do you mean we're leaving? I'm 7.5 months pregnant. Where are we going? We're going to Florida. What? And if anybody has followed that story, they know how that whole happened being in Florida. He gets extradited back to Illinois. I literally delivered my son. They induced my labor because they thought I was going to deliver a stillborn because they could not find my son's heartbeat. So the stress of it, and again, people with their opinions and how they feel, that's why I honestly feel like, fuck y'all. You have no idea what I've been through.